The Pacific Ocean looks peaceful, but beneath this enormous sea, Earth is hiding forces powerful enough to. The Pacific Ocean is not silent at all, because every movement of the sea is connected to deeper, invisible energy.
This peaceful sea is only the outer skin of a much larger and more restless ocean system.
Below the calm sea surface, the Pacific Ocean carries heat, pressure, and geological stress across unimaginable distances.
That the Pacific Ocean is both a cradle of life and one of the greatest engines of natural disaster on Earth.
To understand where earthquakes, tsunamis, and superstorms begin, we must look beyond the surface of the sea. Beneath the sea surface, the Pacific Ocean becomes a hidden world shaped by pressure, darkness, and time. Most of the Pacific Ocean is hidden beneath light, where the sea begins to reveal its true scale and power. That the deeper the Pacific Ocean becomes, the closer we move toward the forces that shape the planet from below. Beneath the Pacific Ocean Sea lies the restless foundation where the story of earthquakes, tsunamis, and superstorms truly begins. The Pacific Ocean seafloor is not a quiet, empty plain, but a vast, hidden landscape shaped by pressure, movement, and ancient force.
Beneath this enormous ocean, the foundation of the Earth is cracked, folded, and constantly changing.
These silent scars on the Pacific Ocean floor mark the places where immense geological stress can slowly build.
The Pacific Ocean hides boundaries, where sections of Earth's crust press against one another in silence. Deep under the Pacific Ocean Sea, pressure does not disappear. It waits, gathers, and strengthens. Even the smallest movement in this deep ocean world can be the first sign of a much larger force awakening. That the Pacific Ocean contains some of the deepest and most active geological regions on the planet. That the deeper the Pacific Ocean becomes, the more it reveals a world where stillness can hide enormous danger. Earthquakes in the Pacific Ocean begin when stored pressure finally overcomes the strength of rock. Beneath the Pacific Ocean Sea, the first quiet signs of a future earthquake may already be beginning. The Pacific Ocean often gives its first warning deep below the sea, long before anything changes at the surface. Beneath the Pacific Ocean Sea, pressure can remain trapped for centuries before releasing in a single violent moment. The Pacific Ocean rests on moving plates, and where those plates lock together, invisible energy begins to accumulate. This deep-sea silence is deceptive, because the Pacific Ocean floor is slowly storing the force that can shake entire coastlines. When rock beneath the Pacific Ocean can no longer hold against pressure, the stored energy begins to search for release. Trenches beneath the Pacific Ocean mark places where one plate may be forced beneath another, creating some of Earth's most powerful seismic zones. In the Pacific Ocean, the greatest disasters often begin with movements so deep that the surface sea remains unaware. Every layer of rock beneath the Pacific Ocean carries a record of collisions, ruptures, and pressure built over geological time. An earthquake beneath the Pacific Ocean does not begin as a single image, but as a chain of stress, resistance, and sudden release. Beneath the Pacific Ocean Sea, calm is never proof of safety, because the next movement may begin without warning. The Pacific Ocean can return to silence, even when the forces beneath the sea have not disappeared. Under this sea, stillness is only a pause between movements of the Earth. Every fracture beneath the Pacific Ocean is part of a larger system that links deep geology to the sea above.
The Pacific Ocean hides an enormous architecture of stress, where pressure can travel across the ocean floor without being seen at the surface. When the seafloor moves, the entire Pacific Ocean above it becomes part of the transfer of energy. The ocean does not need to break open violently to carry danger. Sometimes the first signal is a silent movement through water.
Energy born under the Pacific Ocean can move upward and outward through the sea long before the world recognizes its power. The Pacific Ocean is a bridge between the planet's inner force and the atmosphere that shapes storms above. This single ocean can carry energy from the seafloor into waves, from warm water into clouds, and from silence into catastrophe. The Pacific Ocean is never only what we see on the surface, because beneath this sea, earthquakes may begin. The Pacific Ocean always returns to beauty on the surface, even when the deep sea below continues to hold the memory of pressure and movement. What happens beneath the Pacific Ocean may remain in visible force.
The Pacific Ocean is connected from its deepest trenches to its highest storm clouds.
Beneath this sea, the earth can shake. Above this sea, storms can grow. And across this sea,
the Pacific Ocean is not one story, but many forces moving together beneath one endless surface. Every calm ocean scene in the Pacific carries the possibility of sudden transformation.
This opening journey has only revealed the first layer of the Pacific Ocean, because the deeper story begins where the seafloor meets the movement. To understand earthquakes beneath the Pacific Ocean, we must descend again into the places where tectonic plates collide, lock, and for the next part of this Pacific Ocean story, we'll enter the Ring of Fire, where the sea hides volcanoes, trenches, and earthquake zones. Powerful leaks fold. The Pacific Ocean is the silent giant of Earth, and beneath this vast sea begins the path toward earthquake. Beneath the Pacific Ocean Sea lies the Ring of Fire, a vast hidden boundary where the planet's crust is restless. Along the Pacific Ocean trenches, one tectonic plate can be forced beneath another, creating some of the strongest earthquakes the planet can produce. The Ring of Fire beneath the Pacific Ocean Sea is where pressure gathers, rocks resist, and the first hidden steps toward earthquake begin. Inside the Pacific Ocean Sea, the Ring of Fire is not a single place, but a vast chain of hidden collision zones wrapped around the ocean basin. These layers beneath the Pacific Ocean were shaped by millions of years of pressure, collision, eruption, and slow tectonic movement. Where tectonic plates meet beneath the Pacific Ocean Sea, the rock does not slide smoothly. It locks, bends, and stores force. This hidden resistance beneath the Pacific Ocean is what allows earthquake energy to build quietly over time. The Ring of Fire beneath the Pacific Ocean is a place where the surface of the planet is constantly being recycled, crushed, and reborn.
Volcanoes beneath the Pacific Ocean reveal how closely fire and water exist together in this hidden world.
Heat escaping from beneath the Pacific Ocean is another sign that the Earth below this sea is still intensely active.
Beneath the Pacific Ocean Sea, tectonic plates do not move freely. They grind, resist, and lock against each other.
When one plate is forced beneath another under the Pacific Ocean, the rock can bend under impossible pressure without breaking immediately.
This bending beneath the Pacific Ocean stores energy slowly, silently, and relentlessly.
That each tiny fracture beneath the Pacific Ocean Sea is a warning that the locked boundary is approaching its limit. The Ring of Fire beneath the Pacific Ocean is a chain reaction of pressure moving through rock, water, and time. Before a major earthquake beneath the Pacific Ocean, the seafloor may show only quiet signs of pressure seeking escape.
When the locked plates beneath the Pacific Ocean finally slip, the release can shake the seabed with extraordinary force. This is the hidden moment when the Pacific Ocean begins to transform stored pressure into seismic motion. Even before the largest movement arrives, the Pacific Ocean floor can begin to ripple with warnings written in sand, stone, and pressure. Beneath the Pacific Ocean Sea, the Ring of Fire is now fully awake, and the next movement may be the first true step toward an earthquake.
Beneath the Pacific Ocean Sea, pressure does not always release at once. It first announces itself through subtle motion in rock, sand, and water. That this locked boundary under the Pacific Ocean has held back immense force. But every tremor means the balance is weakening.
When seismic pressure starts to move beneath the Pacific Ocean Sea, the first disturbance may travel through stone before it travels through water.
Along the Pacific Ocean Ring of Fire, trenches mark the places where the planet folds its crust downward and stores dangerous energy. That beneath the Pacific Ocean Sea, even a small upward movement of the ocean floor can become the beginning of a much larger event. The Pacific Ocean hides the moment when pressure becomes motion, and motion becomes the first language of an earthquake. That under this vast sea, the Earth can hold still for centuries, then move in seconds with enough force to disturb the entire ocean above. An earthquake beneath the Pacific Ocean is not only a movement of rock, it is the beginning of an energy transfer into the sea itself. Beneath the Pacific Ocean Sea, the ring of fire has moved from silent pressure into active strain, and the final rupture is now close. Beneath the Pacific Ocean Sea, the ring of fire has reached the moment when stored pressure can no longer remain hidden. An earthquake beneath the Pacific Ocean begins when locked rock finally gives way. When the Pacific Ocean floor shifts suddenly, the movement is not only local, it becomes energy transferred into the sea above.
That this vertical movement beneath the Pacific Ocean is one of the critical forces that can disturb an enormous mass of water.
The sea itself does not create the first force. The Pacific Ocean receives that force from the sudden motion of the Earth below.
Deep under the Pacific Ocean, an earthquake is not the end of the story, but the beginning of a new motion through the sea.
The terrifying truth of the Pacific Ocean is that disaster can begin deep below, while the surface remains almost unchanged. This contrast is what makes the Pacific Ocean so dangerous. A peaceful surface can conceal a violent transformation underneath. Once the Pacific Ocean floor has moved, the next question is whether that movement has pushed enough water to form a tsunami. Beneath the Pacific Ocean, the Ring of Fire has released its first great force, and in the next chapter, the sea itself will show how an earthquake can become a tsunami.
When the Pacific Ocean floor shifts, the sea above it may become the next carrier of Earth's power.
A tsunami does not begin as a towering wave, but as energy moving quietly through the ocean. In the open Pacific Ocean, tsunami energy can travel across enormous distances while barely changing the surface. The Pacific Ocean can carry this energy like a message written through water.
When part of the Pacific Ocean floor rises or drops suddenly, it pushes the water above into motion.
The sea does not move because of wind here. It moves because the ground beneath the Pacific Ocean has changed shape.
The size of the displaced seafloor helps determine how much water the Pacific Ocean will set in motion.
In deep water, tsunami waves are often long, fast, and low, hiding their strength across the vast Pacific Ocean. This is what makes the Pacific Ocean so deceptive. The first stage of a tsunami may pass beneath a calm-looking sea.
The tsunami has begun, not as destruction, but as silent energy racing across the Pacific Ocean. Across the deep Pacific Ocean, the first stage of a tsunami may be almost invisible to the eye.
In deep water, tsunami energy can travel fast, while the ocean's surface remains deceptively low and smooth. The Pacific Ocean can carry a tsunami across thousands of kilometers before the wave begins to rise. The deeper the ocean, the more efficiently the Pacific Ocean allows this energy to move.
A tsunami is not simply a surface wave, but a movement involving a vast depth of water.
Unlike ordinary wind waves, tsunami energy reaches deep into the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean transforms the earthquake's sudden force into a traveling pulse of water. The Pacific Ocean can hide great danger inside motion, too broad and low to appear threatening. Only when this energy approaches shallower water will the Pacific Ocean begin to reveal its true power. The Pacific Ocean is carrying the wave toward shallower ground, where silence will begin to turn into height. The Pacific Ocean is now carrying the hidden force away from deep water and toward the place where the wave will begin to change. As the Pacific Ocean becomes shallower, the energy has less space to remain hidden. When tsunami energy reaches shallower parts of the Pacific Ocean, the wave begins to slow down.
The wave loses speed, but it does not lose energy.
The Pacific Ocean begins converting hidden horizontal motion into visible height. This is the transformation stage, when the Pacific Ocean begins to reveal the force that had been hidden across deep water. The shallower the Pacific Ocean becomes, the more the wave is forced upward. Below the surface, the Pacific Ocean is already moving with dangerous strength.
A tsunami becomes most dangerous when the Pacific Ocean forces deep energy into shallow form. The Pacific Ocean has begun turning silent energy into a visible wall of water. The Pacific Ocean has now forced hidden deep water energy into a visible wave approaching shallow ground. Before the great surge arrives, the Pacific Ocean may first reveal its warning by withdrawing from the coast.
This sudden retreat is not calm, but water being pulled into the growing force of the tsunami.
The Pacific Ocean is now compressing motion, depth, and distance into a single advancing surge.
A tsunami is powerful not only because of its height, but because an enormous volume of Pacific Ocean water is moving behind it.
What began as a movement of the seafloor has become a moving mass of ocean. Below the surface, the Pacific Ocean tsunami is not a simple wave, but a deep, moving body of water.
As the Pacific Ocean enters the final shallow zone, the wave becomes slower, taller, and far more destructive.
The Pacific Ocean is now releasing the energy that began far below on the seafloor.
The Pacific Ocean has transformed an unseen earthquake into a visible force capable of reshaping the edge of land. The Pacific Ocean does not strike as a single wave, but as a moving body of water carrying the weight of the entire sea behind it.
That once tsunami water reaches land, the Pacific Ocean becomes a horizontal force, more dangerous than height alone.
The same energy born from the seafloor now reshapes the boundary between ocean and land.
Tsunami danger continues even when the first impact appears to pass, because the Pacific Ocean can pull back with nearly the same force it arrived with.
A tsunami is often not one wave, but a sequence of surges moving through the Pacific Ocean.
The Pacific Ocean can send repeated waves because the original earthquake energy continues moving through the sea. The Pacific Ocean reveals how a movement deep under the seafloor can travel outward until it changes the shape and rhythm of distant shores.
Earthquakes and tsunamis are only one face of the Pacific Ocean's power. Above the same ocean, another force begins when heat, moisture, wind, and pressure gather over the sea.
The Pacific Ocean can turn seafloor motion into tsunamis, and in the next chapter, this same sea will reveal how the Pacific Ocean does not only create danger from below, it also feeds storms from above. Warm ocean water is the first fuel source for the storms that grow over the Pacific Ocean. Every breath of moisture rising from the Pacific Ocean Sea can help build the atmosphere of a future superstorm. When warm air lifts from the Pacific Ocean, it carries water vapor upward and begins the first step of storm formation.
Above the Pacific Ocean, small clouds can become organized when heat, humidity, and wind begin to work together. A superstorm does not appear suddenly. It begins as many small disturbances gathering strength over the sea. Rotation begins when winds over the Pacific Ocean organize around a center of falling pressure.
As pressure drops, the Pacific Ocean sends more moisture upward, feeding the storm like an engine.
The ocean and atmosphere are now locked together, each strengthening the other over the Pacific Ocean.
The Pacific Ocean has begun turning heat into motion, and motion into the first structure of a superstorm.
Every wave, every gust, and every rising plume of moisture helps the Pacific Ocean strengthen the storm above it. The storm begins to tighten as warm air rises and surrounding winds spiral inward over the Pacific Ocean.
The Pacific Ocean is now supplying the storm with the moisture it needs to grow taller, wider, and more organized.
Falling pressure allows winds to accelerate, and accelerating winds draw even more energy from the Pacific Ocean surface.
That the storm is no longer elusive because the Pacific Ocean has helped it form a rotating core. As the core strengthens, the Pacific Ocean and atmosphere begin exchanging energy faster than before. Within these rain bands, the storm pulls heat from the Pacific Ocean and releases it upward into the growing atmosphere. This is the stage when the Pacific Ocean begins transforming a tropical disturbance into a dangerous, organized cyclone.
The storm has entered a dangerous phase, where heat, moisture, wind, and rotation begin building the foundation of a superstorm.
Over the Pacific Ocean, the storm has begun to draw energy from a wider region of warm sea.
The warmer the Pacific Ocean surface remains, the longer the storm can continue feeding and intensifying.
The storm's rotation forces the sea surface to respond in circles, not straight lines.
Inside the storm, warm Pacific Ocean moisture rises, cools, condenses, and releases heat that strengthens the cyclone from within.
This release of heat is what allows the Pacific Ocean storm to grow taller and more powerful.
When pressure continues to fall over the Pacific Ocean, winds accelerate inward and the storm begins to tighten around its core.
The Pacific Ocean is now giving the storm both moisture from below and friction from the sea surface, shaping its destructive structure. That every spiral band is a pathway carrying heat and moisture from the Pacific Ocean into the storm. The Pacific Ocean has now helped transform scattered storms into a single organized atmospheric machine.
Over the Pacific Ocean, the storm is nearing the threshold where a powerful cyclone can become a true superstorm. Over the Pacific Ocean, the cyclone is now approaching the threshold where ordinary storm structure becomes extreme atmospheric power.
The Pacific Ocean continues feeding the storm from below, sending heat and moisture upward faster than the atmosphere can release it.
The stronger the winds become, the more violently the Pacific Ocean transfers energy back into the storm.
The more violently the Pacific Ocean transfers the storm. Inside these cloud towers, the Pacific Ocean releases
Symmetry is a sign that the Pacific Ocean storm is concentrating its energy around a powerful core.
The eye wall is where some of the most violent winds over the Pacific Ocean begin to concentrate.
At this stage, the Pacific Ocean is no longer just beneath the storm. It has become part of the storm's engine.
When wind, pressure, and warm sea surface align over the Pacific Ocean, the storm can intensify with terrifying speed.
The Pacific Ocean has now helped build a storm powerful enough to organize around a central eye.
That over the Pacific Ocean, the superstorm has found its center, and once the eye becomes stable, the storm can reach its most dangerous form.
Over the Pacific Ocean, the storm has now entered its most organized and dangerous stage. The eye may look peaceful, but around it, the Pacific Ocean is feeding the storm's strongest winds. The eye wall is the place where heat from the Pacific Ocean becomes violent atmospheric motion.
Beneath the storm, the Pacific Ocean is no. The stronger the winds become, the more the storm extracts energy from the warm Pacific Ocean beneath it. From above, the superstorm appears almost beautiful, but its beauty is built from ocean heat, falling pressure, and destructive wind. The Pacific Ocean gives storms the space and fuel to grow into some of the largest weather systems on Earth. That once a superstorm begins moving across the Pacific Ocean, its power is no longer limited to the open sea. The Pacific Ocean can carry a storm's force outward through waves, surge, rain, and wind, long before the eye reaches land.
That the Pacific Ocean has turned heat into a superstorm, and in the next chapter, the sea will reveal what happens when this power reaches.
When the Pacific Ocean sends its power toward land, the coast becomes the first place where ocean, wind, rain, and waves collide. The Pacific Ocean does not need cities or people to reveal its force. Even an untouched coast can show the full violence of the sea.
Every wave arriving from the Pacific Ocean carries the combined work of wind, pressure, and distance.
Storm surge begins when the Pacific Ocean is pushed toward land by powerful winds and falling pressure.
The coast is not facing a single wave, but an entire ocean surface being driven forward by the storm. Coastlines are shaped by countless moments like this, when the Pacific Ocean cuts, moves, and rebuilds the edge of land. Beneath the breaking waves, the Pacific Ocean is grinding the shoreline with force that cannot be seen from above.
The Pacific Ocean does not strike once and stop. It sends wave after wave, until the coastline is transformed.
That this is where the superstorm reveals its reach, turning ocean heat into coastal impact. The Pacific Ocean has carried the storm's power to the shore, and now the coastline must absorb the force of a restless sea.
The coastline is now receiving the full combined force of Pacific Ocean waves, wind, rain, and storm surge.
Every impact from the Pacific Ocean removes sand, loosens stone, and changes the shape of the shore.
Cliffs may look permanent, but the Pacific Ocean carves them through countless storms, impacts, and returning tides. During a powerful storm, the sea does not simply touch the coast. The Pacific Ocean enters every weak point it can find. The force of the Pacific Ocean becomes even stronger when it is compressed into confined coastal spaces.
The storm continues to send new waves across the Pacific Ocean, faster than the coastline can recover.
Storm surge is not a single dramatic moment, but a repeated rise of the Pacific Ocean over the land's edge.
That the Pacific Ocean changes coastlines by repetition, not only by one catastrophic strike.
After each wave, the shore is slightly different, because the Pacific Ocean removes, deposits, and rearranges everything it touches.
The Pacific Ocean is not only attacking the coastline in this moment. It is rewriting the boundary between land and sea.
The Pacific Ocean does not only arrive with force, it remains long enough to reshape everything fragile along the coast.
Every channel carved by the Pacific Ocean becomes a temporary river of storm water flowing across the coast.
Storm surge allows the Pacific Ocean to move beyond its normal edge and temporarily occupy the land.
During a major storm, the Pacific Ocean can divide the coastline into shifting zones of impact, retreat, erosion, and return.
Natural coastal wetlands can absorb part of the Pacific Ocean's force, but even they bend under repeated storm surge.
These living edges can slow the sea, but they cannot stop the Pacific Ocean when a superstorm pushes water relentlessly inland. The coastline is not a fixed line during a storm. It becomes a changing zone where the Pacific Ocean and land overlap.
Each new wave from the Pacific Ocean arrives over a coastline already altered by the waves before it.
The Pacific Ocean becomes most effective at reshaping land when surge, waves, runoff, and retreating currents work together. The Pacific Ocean has turned the coast into a living record of impact, where every wave leaves evidence of the storm's power. Every mark left by the Pacific Ocean is evidence of energy traveling from deep water to fragile land.
Storm surge turns the meeting point between land and sea into a moving frontier.
On a storm coast, the Pacific Ocean moves in both directions at once, pushing inland and pulling the shoreline back toward the sea.
That erosion is often created by this repealed exchange, as the Pacific Ocean removes material with each retreat and returns with new force.
This is how the Pacific Ocean amplifies its own impact, using earlier damage to carry later waves farther inland.
Below the surface, the Pacific Ocean is grinding, lifting, sorting, and carrying pieces of the coast with every pulse. The Pacific Ocean leaves behind patterns that show where water climbed, where currents turned, and where the land gave way. The Pacific Ocean is both destroyer and sculptor, breaking the coast apart while shaping the next version of the shoreline. The Pacific Ocean is both destroyer and sculptor, breaking the coast apart while shaping the next version of the shoreline. Every retreating flow carries pieces of the coastline back into the Pacific Ocean. Cliffs resist the Pacific Ocean for centuries, yet every storm removes another invisible layer. After the strongest impact, the Pacific Ocean continues working through smaller movements that still alter the land. Natural coastlines recover slowly, but the Pacific Ocean always leaves behind evidence of where its power reached. That the coastline records the storm in patterns, showing where the Pacific Ocean pushed hardest and where the land yielded. Even as the storm begins to pass, the Pacific Ocean remains restless, carrying leftover surge, swell, and turbulence across the coast. The Pacific Ocean can appear to calm quickly, but the energy of a storm continues moving through waves long after the sky begins to clear. The Pacific Ocean does not separate earthquakes, tsunamis, storms, and coastlines. It connects them through one vast moving system. The Pacific Ocean has shown its force at the coast, and in the final chapter, the story will return to the open sea to the Pacific Ocean never truly stops, even after earthquakes, tsunamis, and superstorms have passed.
From above, the Pacific Ocean may look calm again, but calm is only one moment in a much larger cycle.
The Pacific Ocean remembers every force through motion, through temperature, through currents, and through the endless rhythm of the sea. Beneath the surface, the Pacific Ocean continues to move in layers long after the sky begins to clear.
The ocean's greatest movements are often hidden below what the eye can see.
Storms pass across the surface, but the deep Pacific Ocean keeps moving with ancient patience.
Below the sea, the same geological forces continue to press, bend, and store energy for the future.
The Pacific Ocean is never finished with its story, because the earth beneath it is still alive. The same ocean basin that produces earthquakes and tsunamis also holds the deep structures that keep the planet changing. That the Pacific Ocean is not a place where disasters simply end, but a living system where every ending becomes the beginning of another movement. The Pacific Ocean is not a place where forces disappear, but a vast system where energy is stored, transferred, and renewed.
Every layer of the Pacific Ocean connects the restless seafloor below with the changing sky above.
Peace in the Pacific Ocean is never emptiness. It is the quiet movement of a planet still alive. That these currents carry heat, nutrients, and motion across the Pacific Ocean long after storms have vanished from the sky. The same Pacific Ocean that carries tsunami energy also carries the warmth that can feed future storms. The Pacific Ocean always holds two truths at once: beauty at the surface and power beneath. After great violence, the Pacific Ocean can look peaceful again, but its silence is only the next chapter beginning. That every swell moving across the Pacific Ocean is part of a continuous exchange between wind, water, heat, and gravity. What appears to be empty ocean is actually a moving map of energy spread across the largest sea on Earth. The Pacific Ocean never truly rests, because beneath every calm wave, the planet continues to move.
The Pacific Ocean never truly rests, because beneath every calm wave, the planet continues to move.
The Pacific Ocean carries the memory of earthquakes, tsunamis, and superstorms not as scars alone, but as motion continuing. Even when the surface becomes smooth, the Pacific Ocean is still exchanging heat, pressure, and movement with the world around it. Below the surface, the Pacific Ocean continues its hidden circulation, carrying energy through layers the eye can barely understand. This layered movement connects the storm above, the wave across the surface, and the tectonic force waiting far below. The Pacific Ocean is not defined only by disaster, but by the constant motion that makes life, weather, and geology part of one system. Every depth of the Pacific Ocean belongs to the same story, from the bright surface to the hidden floor where Earth's crust still shifts.
Beneath the Pacific Ocean, the ring of fire may appear silent again,
But silence does not mean the planet has stopped changing.
The same seafloor that once released energy may one day store it again, continuing the endless cycle beneath the sea.
The Pacific Ocean is a continuous bridge between Earth's deep pressure, the moving sea, and the changing sky.
The Pacific Ocean connects the silent floor of the Earth, with every wave, storm, and current moving above it. That the Pacific Ocean is never a still emptiness, but a constantly moving system carrying the memory of Earth's power. Every layer of the Pacific Ocean carries a different kind of motion, from deep pressure to surface wind. After each disturbance, the Pacific Ocean absorbs the energy, redistributes it, and continues moving.
The surface beauty of the Pacific Ocean never erases the power hidden beneath it.
This calm Pacific Ocean is not the end of the story, but the visible face of a deeper cycle still unfolding.
From this height, the Pacific Ocean appears peaceful, yet every pattern on the sea is shaped by wind, gravity, heat, and the motion of the planet.
The Pacific Ocean is a living force of the planet, always changing, always carrying energy, and always waiting for the next stage. The Pacific Ocean is a living force of the planet, always changing, always carrying energy. It's that what seems like calm on the Pacific Ocean surface is only one moment in an endless cycle of planetary motion. Beneath every wave, the Pacific Ocean still connects deep pressure, surface motion, atmospheric heat, and the coastlines shaped by its force. The Pacific Ocean is not separated into disasters and calmness, but held together by one continuous movement of sea, sky, and earth. The same unseen places that began this story remain beneath the Pacific Ocean, still storing heat, pressure, and possibility. Earthquakes may begin beneath the seafloor, tsunamis may cross the sea, and superstorms may rise from warm water. The Pacific Ocean is not an enemy and not a sleeping giant, but a living expression of a planet that is always shifting.
To understand the Pacific Ocean is to understand that beauty and danger can exist in the same water, held together by the motion of Earth.
The Pacific Ocean is where earthquakes can begin, where tsunamis can rise, where superstorms can grow.
At the edge of the desert, a hidden ocean world is waiting beneath the heat. From above, this sea looks too hot, too dry, and too salty for life. But beneath this burning surface, the ocean is not empty. This ocean is shaped by heat, salt, sunlight, and survival. Above the surface is desert. Below it, another world begins. The moment we enter the sea, the desert disappears. Here, the ocean becomes a city of color, shelter, and movement. Every corner of this sea gives life a place to hide, feed, and survive. In this ocean, survival often begins by moving together. This is the mystery of the Red Sea. How does life flourish in a hot and salty ocean? To answer that mystery, we must look closer at how this ocean builds life from hardship. The reef survives because each tiny organism plays a role in the ocean's larger design. In this ocean, survival begins with finding protection before danger arrives. The open ocean gives them space, but the reef gives them safety. Alone, each fish is fragile. Together, they become harder for the ocean's hunters to break. In this sea, every movement is a decision between feeding and being eaten. The reef is more than beauty. It is a fortress built by life itself. After every moment of danger, the ocean returns to its quiet rhythm.
Some creatures survive this ocean not by strength, but through ancient partnerships. In the Red Sea, life survives because every small relationship strengthens the entire ocean world. A single partnership may seem small, but in this ocean, small connections hold the reef together. The reef is not one living thing, but thousands of lives woven through the sea. In this ocean, even movement becomes a language of survival. Where the open sea is dangerous, the smallest spaces become places of safety. In this ocean, survival is not only about strength, it is also about trust. Even in a harsh sea, cooperation can become a powerful survival strategy. Every creature that moves through this sea depends on the health of the reef around it. The ocean current delivers invisible meals to a world that never stops feeding. These tiny animals build the foundation of one of the most resilient ocean habitats on Earth. To understand how life survives in this sea, we must follow the reef from its smallest builders to its greatest challenges. Beyond the reef's beauty, the sea begins to test every life that depends on it. Here, the reef stands between safe shelter and the unknown sea. In this ocean, safety can vanish just a few meters from the reef. The sea brings food, but it also brings pressure that never stops. These corals may look fragile, but they are the architects of survival in this sea. Every mouthful in this ocean depends on a reef strong enough to endure heat and salt. When the sea becomes dangerous, darkness can become protection. Some hunters in this sea survive by waiting where the light cannot reach. In this ocean, survival often means knowing when not to move.
The Red Sea is beautiful because it is alive. And it is alive because every creature has learned to survive.
To survive here, life must understand both the shelter of the reef and the danger of the open sea. Ancient travelers crossed this ocean by instinct, moving through heat, salt, and shifting currents. For some creatures, survival means remembering roots the ocean has held for generations. Others survive this sea by disappearing into the world around them. In this ocean, even the sand can hide a living strategy. Every part of this sea offers a different way to stay alive. Predators are not outsiders here. They are part of the balance that shapes the ocean. In this ocean, fear is not chaos. It is information that keeps life moving.
The Red Sea is not simply beautiful. It is a test that every living thing must answer.
To understand how life survives here, we must first understand the sea itself, its heat, its salt, and its unforgiving power. To understand life in this ocean, we must first understand the heat pressing down from above.
This sea receives sunlight with almost no shadow to soften its power. Around this ocean, the land is dry, and fresh water is rare.
With little river water entering the sea, salt remains behind.
Every day, the sun pulls water upward, but the salt stays in the ocean. This is why the Red Sea becomes saltier than many other ocean waters. For marine life, this salt is not just a background, it is a constant challenge. In shallow water, heat and light can become as powerful as any predator.
Here, even shade can be a survival tool.
Life survives in this ocean by using every small difference in temperature, light, and shelter. The reef creates micro-worlds inside the sea, each one offering a different chance to live. These corals endure conditions that would weaken many reefs elsewhere. A reef begins with tiny animals that must balance salt, heat, and hunger. Even in clear water, the ocean carries invisible food through the reef. What looks like stone is actually a living structure fighting to remain alive. The reef changes the ocean around it, turning harsh water into habitat. Inside the reef, the sea becomes slower, safer, and easier to survive.
Step beyond the shelter, and the ocean becomes demanding again.
Every second in this ocean requires energy, balance, and adaptation. In this sea, the reef is not only a home, it is protection from the ocean itself. Every breath in this ocean must manage salt, oxygen, and heat.
Small choices help life survive in a sea that never stops testing it.
The surface may look calm, but it controls the world below. Too little light would starve the reef. Too much heat can threaten it. Life here depends on balance. Enough sunlight to grow, not enough heat to fail. Even resilient reefs carry signs of the pressure placed upon them. In this ocean, survival is never permanent. It must be renewed every day. Depth offers relief from light, but it brings its own challenges. The deeper ocean gives less heat and less light, forcing life to change again. As conditions change, the ocean chooses different survivors. In this ocean, some creatures survive by turning beauty into defense. Warning colors are another language written into the ocean. The Red Sea is not one environment, but a staircase of changing conditions. From the surface to the depths, heat, salt, light, and pressure shape every life. Life survives here by finding the exact layer of ocean it can endure.
Away from the reef, the sea becomes wider, emptier, and harder to read.
In open water, survival depends on movement, awareness, and the strength to keep going.
The reef offers safety, but the wider ocean connects every part of the Red Sea.
Now that we understand the seal's heat and salt, we can enter the reef itself, where survival becomes a living city. The reef creates micro-worlds inside the sea, each one offering a different chance to live. A reef begins with tiny animals that must balance salt, heat, and hunger.
A reef begins with tiny animals that must balance salt, heat, and hunger.
Even in clear water,
The ocean carries invisible food through the reef.
What looks like stone is actually a living structure fighting to remain alive.
The reef changes the ocean around it, turning harsh water into habitat.
Inside the reef, the sea becomes slower, safer, and easier to survive.
Step beyond the shelter, and the ocean becomes demanding again. Every second in this ocean requires energy, balance, and adaptation. In this sea, the reef is not only a home, it is protection from the ocean itself. Every breath in this ocean must manage salt, oxygen, and heat. Small choices help life survive in a sea that never stops testing it.
In this ocean, shade can be as important as food. The surface may look calm, but it controls the world below. Too little light would starve the reef. Too much heat can threaten it.
Life here depends on balance. Enough sunlight to grow, not enough heat to fail. Even resilient reefs carry signs of the pressure placed upon them.
In this ocean, survival is never permanent. It must be renewed every day.
Depth offers relief from light, but it brings its own challenges. The deeper ocean gives less heat and less light, forcing life to change again. As conditions change, the ocean chooses different survivors. Here, life becomes quieter, slower, and harder to find.
In this ocean, some creatures survive by turning beauty into defense.
Warning colors are another language written into the sea. The Red Sea is not one environment, but a staircase of changing conditions. From the surface to the depths, heat, salt, light, and pressure shape every life. Life survives here by finding the exact layer of ocean it can endure.
Away from the reef, the sea becomes wider, emptier, and harder to read.
In open water, survival depends on movement, awareness, and the strength to keep going. The reef offers safety, but the wider ocean connects every part of the Red Sea. In this ocean, every journey eventually returns to the reef. The reef turns a harsh sea into a place where life can pause. And inside these coral walls, the ocean becomes a shelter built by living animals. For the smallest creatures, survival begins in spaces too narrow for danger to enter. The reef is not a backdrop. It is alive, working every moment against the sea.
Here, light is both a gift and a pressure that life must balance.
From tiny polyps, the ocean builds a city strong enough to face extreme conditions. This is how life answers the Red Sea, by building structure, shelter, and connection. The harsher the sea becomes, the more important this living city becomes.
Now, we enter the reef itself, where the Red Sea turns hardship into one of the ocean's most crowded worlds.
Inside the reef, the Red Sea becomes one of the ocean's most crowded living cities. Every coral tower becomes a street, a shelter, and a feeding ground. In this ocean city, movement is constant because life must never stop responding. The smallest passages in this sea can become the safest places to grow. For young life in this ocean, survival begins by staying hidden. The city is built by tiny animals too small to command attention, but powerful enough to shape the sea. A reef city does not rise from stone. It grows from living mouths. Generation after generation, coral turns the ocean floor into architecture. Inside these tunnels, the open sea becomes quieter, slower, and easier to survive. Every hidden passage in this ocean leads to another world of life. Color in this ocean is not decoration. It helps life recognize, warn, and belong. In this reef city, some lives survive by staying close to one trusted partner. Even in a crowded ocean, survival can depend on cooperation. Here, trust becomes a service, and service becomes a way to live. The reef city has rules written not in words, but in behavior.
In this sea, even stillness is full of motion. Soft corals turn the ocean current into movement, shelter, and food. In this sea, even stillness is full of motion.
Above the reef, thousands of small bodies become one protective shape. In this ocean, survival can be found in numbers, speed, and perfect timing. A reef city is full of life, but every open space carries risk. The reef does not remove danger. It gives life places to escape. After danger passes, the ocean city returns to its quiet work.
Beneath the fish, another layer of the city works close to the ground. The reef survives because even the smallest cleaners remove, recycle, and reuse.
Life on the reef is not always fast. Some survival happens slowly, close to the seafloor.
Even the open sand between corals becomes part of the city. A home in this ocean may be a coral tower, a tunnel, or a hole in the sand.
The reef city is not built from one habitat, but from many connected shelters.
Some fish feed on the reef while also helping keep it in balance. In this ocean, nothing is wasted for long.
A crowded city survives when each life finds its own place and purpose.
Even in a shared reef, space is valuable.
In this ocean, survival can depend on defending a space no larger than a hand. Some homes in this ocean are not made of stone, but of living protection. Partnership allows fragile lives to survive in a sea filled with risk.
The reef survives because thousands of relationships strengthen the whole ocean world.
The current connects every street of this underwater city. Food moves through this ocean as a hidden river inside the sea. One current can feed animals above the reef and animals fixed to the reef itself.
The deeper we look into the reef, the more crowded the ocean becomes.
In this ocean city, disguise can be as powerful as speed.
To survive here, some creatures become part of the landscape.
Every layer of this city uses a different answer to the same question: how to live.
As light changes, the rhythm of the reef city begins to change with it. In this ocean, every change in light signals a change in behavior. The reef city never truly stops. It only changes who is active. Crowded, connected, and constantly changing, this reef is the Red Sea's answer to hardship.
This living city shows how life survives in heat and salt, by becoming connected.
But every city has borders, and beyond the reef, survival becomes more dangerous. To understand this ocean fully, we must now follow the hunters, the hunted, and the fragile chain that keeps everything alive. At the edge of the reef, the Red Sea reveals another side of survival.
Here, open water gives freedom, but it also removes protection.
For the hunted, survival begins before the predator appears. Together, thousands of small lives can confuse a hunter's eyes. In this ocean, danger can arrive first as a shadow. The reef does not end the threat. It gives life a place to react. In this sea, surviving once does not mean danger is gone. Every calm moment in the ocean is only a pause between decisions. Some hunters survive by waiting where the reef hides them.
In the Red Sea, patience can be as powerful as speed. A predator does not need to move often when the ocean brings food past its door. The reef is a shelter for the hunted, but it is also a hiding place for hunters. Another hunter waits inside the reef itself, using darkness as protection.
In this sea, stillness can hide hunger. Above the hidden hunters, the reef continues to pulse with life.
Some predators do not hide their danger. They display it. Warning is another form of power in this ocean.
Beyond the coral, the scale of hunting begins to change.
The open ocean often looks empty before it reveals what is moving through it. The shark enters not as a monster, but as part of the ocean's balance. A predator's presence changes the behavior of everything around it. Fear is not chaos here. It is information that keeps life alive.
When the predator passes, the reef does not forget. It resets.
Life in this ocean survives by returning to motion again and again. Not every survivor in this sea depends on speed. On the ocean floor, invisibility can be the safest defense.
Some animals survive by becoming almost invisible until movement is necessary.
In the Red Sea, one creature's path can open food for another.
The food chain is not a straight line. It is a web moving through the whole ocean. Even leftovers become energy in a sea where nothing can be wasted. In this ocean, a shadow can change everything.
Predation shapes the ocean, even when no chase happens.
Survival here is not one victory. It is a rhythm repeated all day. Speed matters when the distance between hunter and hunted becomes a heartbeat. The hunted survive by knowing the shape of their city. Failure is also part of hunting in this sea. The ocean looks calm because every creature is constantly adjusting. Not every large animal in this ocean is a hunter. Survival also belongs to ancient travelers that cross the reef without rushing. Some lives survive by moving between worlds, carrying the reef's story into open water. The Red Sea food chain is not just about killing. It is about balance. Every layer of this ocean feeds another, protects another, or challenges another. Balance is held not by peace, but by constant pressure. The smallest lives keep the reef working, even while larger animals shape its fear. Food, fear, and movement connect this ocean more tightly than it first appears. The reef survives because every hunter, every prey, and every hidden cleaner has a place. This chain of survival begins on the reef, but it reaches far beyond it. To see how this ocean renews life, we must leave the hunters behind and follow the young into the shallows. Beyond the hunters, the Red Sea holds quieter places where life begins again. In the shallows, the ocean becomes gentler, but survival still requires shelter. Here, the Red Sea builds another kind of city, not from coral, but from grass. For young fish, each blade of seagrass can become a wall, a hiding place, and a beginning. In this sea, young life learns that safety is never far from danger. The ocean nursery is not simple. It is made of grass, sand, burrows, shadows, and instinct.
Even in the nursery, the smallest workers keep the sea alive.
This meadow protects life by slowing the water and breaking the view of hunters. The Red Sea does not renew itself only on reefs. It renews itself in these quiet green fields.
Where the sea meets the coast, another shelter rises from the shallows.
Mangrove roots turn the edge of the sea into a fortress for the young.
In this maze, small bodies have an advantage over larger hunters.
For young life, survival begins with patience, caution, and a place to disappear.
This is where the desert, the coast, and the ocean quietly meet.
Young creatures survive by moving from one shelter to the next.
The nursery works because no single shelter stands alone.
Not all visitors to the nursery are young. Some return here across a lifetime. The Red Sea's shallow meadows feed, shelter, and guide life at many ages. Movement connects the nursery to the reef to the open sea, and the sea to survival. In the shallows, hiding can be as important as swimming. Even a silent movement can release food into the ocean. In this sea, every disturbance can become a meal. The shallows may look quiet, but they are one of the ocean's busiest beginnings. For the young, the ocean is not yet a wide world. It is a narrow shelter. The nursery protects life not by removing danger, but by giving the young places to vanish. After danger passes, the nursery begins again. As young creatures grow, the path toward the reef begins to open. The journey from nursery to reef is not one leap, but many careful crossings. Here, young life begins to trade grass for coral. Every small coral patch teaches the skills needed for the larger reef city. The Red Sea survives because its habitats are connected, each one preparing life for the next.
Roots, grass, sand, and coral are not separate worlds. They are one coastal ocean network.
The mangroves catch what the sea carries and turn it into shelter and food.
At the edge of the sea, fallen life becomes food for new life.
The young do not grow in one place. They move through a chain of protection. Every crossing teaches the young how to read the sea. When the young reach coral, they enter a world more crowded, more complex, and more dangerous.
The nursery does not stand apart from the reef. It feeds the reef with new life.
Life survives here because the sea gives it more than one chance to grow. This is how the Red Sea renews itself, through connected habitats that protect the next generation. But the Red Sea is not only shallow nurseries and sunlit reefs. Beyond the nurseries, the ocean drops away into places far less understood. The same sea that shelters young life also hides deep and extreme worlds below.
To complete the story of survival, we must now leave the sunlight and follow the Red Sea into its hidden depths.
Now, the Red Sea will reveal its deepest secret, life where heat, salt, darkness, and mystery meet. This water is so salty and dense that it rests beneath the ocean like a hidden lake. Life survives here by cooperating when strength alone is not enough. Life survives here through partnerships older than memory. Life survives here by building shelter where the sea is harsh. For many animals, survival means knowing where not to go. In the deep sea, distance from danger can be the difference between life and death. Even in the quietest parts of the ocean, life finds surfaces to hold on to. The farther we descend, the less the ocean looks like the world above. Some of the smallest lives may be the strongest survivors in the Red Sea. Here, survival is not abundance. It is endurance. Life survives here by moving together when danger is near. Here, survival may mean surrendering to the movement of the sea. At the bottom, the Red Sea becomes another world entirely. This deep ocean is not crowded like the Reef, but it is not lifeless. Around these extreme pools, life must adapt to chemistry that would overwhelm many creatures. The Red Sea teaches that life can shrink, hide, and change rather than disappear. Even here, far below the reef, life depends on the ocean above. As light returns, the ocean becomes crowded once more.
Survival here is not one strategy, but many strategies layered together.
Food from above sinks slowly through the sea, carrying energy into darkness. They do not need coral towers, sunlight, or open water. They survive where conditions become extreme. At this boundary, the ocean separates into layers that many animals cannot cross. Every layer of this ocean holds a different answer to the same challenge. Even in this dark ocean, life is still present, only smaller and harder to see. Here, salt is no longer just a challenge. It becomes a boundary of life. Now, the Red Sea carries us away from sunlight and into its hidden depths. To understand survival, we must connect the deepest darkness back to the sunlit sea. Then, the Red Sea reveals one of its greatest mysteries, a pool of water beneath the sea. Where light is stronger, the Red Sea builds complexity from color and movement. Down here, the sea becomes quieter, darker, and harder to understand. From the deep floor to the reef wall, life changes shape with every meter. Down here, life survives by using less energy, moving less often, and hiding more completely. Now the reef no longer looks simply beautiful. It looks resilient. Every relationship strengthens the ocean world around it.
Life survives here because the reef is renewed by the shallows.
Life survives here by giving the young protected places to begin. Life because habitats are connected, not isolated. At the edge of the desert, the ocean protects its future. The answer is not found in one place, but in the connection between all places. Heat, salt, light, darkness, danger, and shelter all shape this ocean together. Life survives in the Red Sea because it adapts at every scale. Some lives endure by moving through the ocean with ancient patience. Some survive by blending with the seafloor and moving only when the moment is right. Some survive by hunting and by keeping the entire ocean in balance.
The Red Sea is alive because every creature responds, adjusts, and continues. This is how life survives in a hot and salty sea, not alone, but connected. What looked impossible from above becomes extraordinary beneath the surface. The Red Sea is not life in comfort. It is life shaped by challenge. Above, the desert is silent. Below, the ocean continues to live. The Red Sea survives because life here has learned to use every layer of the ocean. Heat does not end the story. Salt does not end the story. Life finds a way through both.
From above, the ocean seems peaceful. Lies a wild kingdom ruled by hunters.
The deeper we enter the ocean, the more the sea reveals a world where every movement can mean survival or death. In the ocean, beauty and danger live side by side, because even the safest reef can become a hunting ground.
Small fish survive in the ocean by becoming one body, because it can expose them to the hunter.
In the ocean, prey often feel danger before they can see it, because the sea carries pressure, movement, and fear.
Some ocean predators do not need to be giants. In the sea, speed, silence, and timing can be just as deadly.
In the ocean, survival can depend on a gap in the reef, a turn of the current, or one moment of perfect stillness.
Long before humans explored the ocean, the balance of the sea with silence, patience, and instinct.
A shark does not rule the ocean through chaos, but through senses refined by millions of years beneath the sea.
Beyond the reef, the ocean opens into a greater arena, where the sea gives no shelter and only the fastest hunters can survive.
Out here in the open ocean, the sea belongs to creatures built for distance, speed, and relentless pursuit. In the ocean, speed is not only movement. In the sea, speed is survival, power, and control.
Across the open sea, there are no walls, no caves, and no coral branches. Only speed can decide who
Heads through the ocean, prey gather into one shining shape, hoping the sea will hide the individual inside the crowd. In the ocean, every hunt is a battle between panic and precision, and the sea rewards the hunter that chooses the perfect moment.
The surface of the ocean may look like escape, but in the sea, danger can attack from every direction.
Some ocean predators do not rule by force alone. In the sea, intel trap. In the ocean, teamwork can change. One predator may chase, but many predators can control the sea.
After every chase, the ocean becomes quiet again, but the silence of the sea is never empty.
The ocean is not ruled by one kind of hunter, because the sea creates many forms of power, and each one claims its own territory.
Not every hunter in the ocean chases across the open sea. Some wait where the ocean itself becomes a trap.
In these narrow parts of the sea, the fastest creature does not always win. The one that understands the terrain may hold the power.
In the ocean, patience can become a weapon, and a motionless hunter can be more dangerous than one in pursuit.
A hunt in the ocean does not always begin with a chase. Sometimes it begins with silence, distance, and one mistake. In the sea, a single second can separate safety from capture, and after the strike, the ocean becomes quiet again.
Some ocean predators do not patrol the open sea. They turn darkness inside the reef into a doorway for hunting.
In the ocean, the line between home and hunting ground.
The ocean does not hide every threat in shadow. Sometimes the sea displays danger in color, shape, and stillness.
In the ocean, survival is not always about being the largest.
And each one rules only where its own strength becomes the perfect weapon.
Even in the gentle corners of the ocean, the sea never stops testing the young, the weak, and the careless. In the ocean, safety is often temporary, because every hiding place can become a path for another hunter.
Every ruler of the ocean begins as a survivor, learning how the sea moves, hides, and reveals life.
The ocean teaches patience before power, because even predators must grow into their place in the sea.
The ocean is not a living balance where predator, prey, and wanderer share the same blue world.
In the sea, calm does not mean safety. It only means the next movement has not yet begun. Where the reef ends and the open ocean begins, the sea changes its rules, and every creature must choose how far it dares to go. In the ocean, power is sometimes felt before it is seen, because the sea remembers the shape of danger. The farther we move from the reef, the more the ocean becomes a place of distance, pressure, and hidden strength. Some ocean predators seem shaped by another age, built to read the invisible signals of life moving through the sea.
In the ocean, true power is not always loud. Sometimes the sea gives authority to those that move with perfect control.
Every predator leaves a mark on the ocean, but the sea quickly hides its secrets again.
Even in a sea of hunters, the ocean depends on moments of trust, pause, and delicate balance.
When light fades in the ocean, the sea does not sleep. It simply gives power to different hunters. At dusk, the ocean becomes a world of outlines, where the sea favors hunters that can sense more than they can see. In darkness, the ocean speaks through vibration, scent, pressure, and flashes of light. Far below the sunlit ocean, the sea creates hunters shaped by darkness, pressure, and patience. Some ocean rulers live so far from the surface that the sea allows us to know them only through shadows. To ask which creature rules the sea, we must first understand that the ocean is not one kingdom, but many. This is the wild ocean, a sea of predators, and the search for the creature that truly rules the water has only just begun.
Now the ocean opens into a world ruled by speed, where every second can decide who lives and who becomes the next meal. In the open sea, protection disappears, and the ocean belongs to creatures built to chase across the blue.
Among the ocean's speed hunters, tuna are built for endurance, crossing the sea with power that almost never rests. The ocean does not only reward the strongest body, the sea rewards the body that can turn energy into endless motion. In the ocean, speed becomes strategy when many hunters move as one force through the sea.
When prey gather in the ocean, the sea turns fear into shape, and every predator searches for the weakest opening. In the open ocean, a bait ball is not safety. It is a signal that the hunt has entered its most dangerous stage.
The ocean measures speed not only by how fast a hunter moves, but by how quickly it can change direction when the prey changes the story.
But the sea has many kinds of speed, and some ocean hunters are designed to strike alone.
A sailfish moves through the ocean like a blade of speed, turning the sea itself into a path of attack.
In the ocean, some predators use speed like a tool, not only to chase, but to cut, turn, and confuse.
The sea rewards the hunter that can read the movement of 1,000 fish and find the one mistake inside the crowd.
In the open ocean, escape is not a place, escape is a direction, and the hunter must close that direction before the prey finds it.
Beyond the flash of the sailfish, the ocean holds another kind of speed, heavier, colder, and more explosive.
The mako shark is one of the Kaio pure speed hunters, built to turn muscle into explosive motion beneath the sea.
In the ocean, speed without control is wasted, and the true hunter must move fast and decide faster.
A single burst across the ocean can change the shape of the entire school, even when the strike itself is over in a heartbeat.
Sometimes the pressure of the ocean becomes so great that prey must leave the sea for a few seconds of hope. But the ocean always waits below, and every return to the sea brings the chase back into motion. But in the ocean, beauty can move with astonishing speed, and color can belong to a hunter as much as to the reef.
Open ocean hunters must read light as much as movement, because in the sea, a flash of silver can reveal the path of prey.
The open ocean is not empty. The sea is layered with hunters, each one built for a different kind of pursuit.
In the ocean, separation can be fatal because the sea is most dangerous when a creature stands alone.
A barracuda does not need a long chase. In the ocean, it waits for the moment when distance becomes small enough to erase.
In the sea, straight-line speed can become a weapon when the predator knows exactly where the prey must turn next.
But in the ocean, speed becomes even more powerful when it is guided by memory, sound, and teamwork.
These ocean hunters do not simply follow prey. They shape the sea around it until escape becomes harder.
In the ocean, teamwork can turn empty water into invisible walls.
The sea does not give power to one design alone. The ocean creates many answers to the same hunger.
Even in the open ocean, the sea has hidden roads, and predators learn where life gathers. A hunter in the ocean must understand water, because the sea decides where food moves before the predator ever arrives. When millions of small fish move through the ocean, the sea becomes a signal that calls hunters from every direction.
In the ocean, a school survives by turning together, but the larger the school becomes, the more hunters it attracts.
The ocean's greatest hunts often begin when many predators follow the same signal of fear.
Here, speed rules the sea for a moment, but speed alone cannot explain the full power of the ocean. The ocean can turn from chaos to silence in seconds, and the sea keeps no witness for long. But below the speed of the open ocean, another kind of predator waits, older, quieter, and shaped by time. The fastest hunters may dominate the moment, but the ocean also belongs to predators that have survived for millions of years. Some ocean predators do not need to chase every movement, because their power lies in sensing when the sea is ready. Speed may rule the open ocean, but it is only one answer in the sea's long history of predators. The ocean demands balance from every hunter, because the sea punishes wasted energy as quickly as missed opportunity. To live by speed in the ocean is to live in constant motion, always chasing the next signal of life across the sea. The open sea has shown us hunters of speed, but the ocean's oldest predators are still waiting in the deeper blue. Long before speed ruled the open ocean, sharks were already mastering the sea through silence, senses, and survival. The next question is not how fast a predator can move, but how long a design can survive in the ocean. In the open sea, speed can rule the chase, but in the deeper ocean, something older is about to take control. Now we enter the world of sharks, ancient predators shaped by the ocean long before speed became a spectacle. A great white shark does not need to rush through the sea, because the ocean has already given it patience, strength, and perfect design. In the ocean, a shark is not a monster. It is a living record of millions of years of survival beneath the sea.
In the ocean, the hunt often begins long before the chase, when the predator studies movement from below.
A shark can turn the ocean's layers into strategy, using depth as cover and silence as pressure. In the sea, power is sometimes measured by the fear a predator creates without touching anything at all. Not every shark rules the ocean in the same way. Some move like wandering investigators of the sea.
A tiger shark survives in the ocean by being curious, adaptable, and willing to explore almost every edge of the sea. In the ocean, an apex predator can reshape a place simply by passing through it. The hammerhead shows how the ocean can shape a predator